Good morning and welcome to the Thursday, August 4th, 2022 Public Clemency Board meeting. Before we begin, I just want to provide a reminder about a few housekeeping rules for the meeting. First, please make sure that your microphones are muted when you are not speaking. If you have any questions, please hold them and we will have a. However, feel free to take advantage of the chat function to send questions in and we'll happily address them during the question and answer portion of the meeting. Now I'd like to proceed to take attendance of board members present so we can make sure we have a quorum to proceed. I'll call the names of board members, so please let me know if you are here. Emily Gunston.
Present.
Sonia Weil.
Present.
Katia Semyonova.
I'm present. I'm sorry that I can't be on video today. I have connection issues.
No problem, thank you. And Elena Settenberg.
Here, Ilana.
Oh, first mistake of the day, I apologize. Alana.
No problem at all.
I don't know what it is. I really do apologize. Alana.
My son corrects when people say his name wrong, and he's almost 8. So I'm like, I should probably do it too if my 7-year-old does it.
No, you get one name.
But I don't mind at all.
It should be, your name should be treated with respect, Ilana. And Felisa Carter. So I think Ms. Carter is not with us. So we do have a quorum, so we can proceed with the meeting. So our first thing is to go to old business and review the Clemency Board's operating guidelines. And for that, I'd like to turn it over to our staff director to review these. We have a few more edits and comments to do, and it's really my hope that we're able to approve them today in this meeting. So with that, Christina, thank you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you to those who were able to take one more look at the operating guidelines. I'm going to just pull up those edits that were submitted by both Felisa and Ilana. The only thing is I didn't know if anyone had additional edits, and we can do a round robin. So Katya, Emily, did you guys have additional edits?
I didn't have any. You guys did an amazing job on these. Thank you so much for all your work to put them together.
Okay, great. Sonia, did you have any edits?
I didn't have any edits. Great job.
Great, thanks. And Katya?
I didn't have more edits.
Okay, great. All right, so I will share my screen so we can address those edits brought up by Ilana and Felisa. Felisa's are more typos. Ilana had some substantive questions. Hopefully we can resolve them and possibly vote on the operating guidelines. Does that sound like a good plan for everyone?
Yes, thank you.
Great. All right, give me one moment. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Great. Just gonna do side by side, and I believe start here. Just gonna minimize you guys so I cannot see you. So if you need to get my attention, please just go off of mute. I just need the full screen because I'm on a tiny laptop. Okay, so let's go to Appendix A. That's where we're at now, Ilana's. All right. So Appendix A, Ilana states, I recommend the checklist.
And I can go through. I didn't mean for them to be substantive. They're fairly technical. I know we discussed, I can just run through them if it's easier, a court docket from Superior Court. I just thought that we should add that to the checklist just to facilitate review. But I think that we had discussed that orally as well.
Okay, that sounds good. I know we won't need permission to get that since it's public record, but I would defer here to everyone. Would you, I think informing an applicant that we're getting that might be beneficial as well. Any concerns there?
Nope.
Okay. Based on So Ilana, just confirming, this is all public record. Does that include also older cases? I think we'd have to actually go to the Superior Court to obtain that.
Yeah, so I mean, I mostly just meant like you can just go to court cases online and it's like a public thing, and at least you can print that out just to kind of give you a sense of what's going on. You know, if you're trying to figure out have they been exhausted, you'll just need to see what's been filed, et cetera. I just thought it was a useful reference point to also see, okay, if they filed a compassionate release, just to kind of see what else you want to get. If they filed a compassionate release motion, maybe you'd want to look at those filings and the pleadings and the court's decision, just to kind of give a framework for what had happened in the case. And
Great. Okay, and then
this was really technical, but number 9, it was just listed as an MPD document, the Gerstein affidavit or arrest warrant. That could be an MPD document, but a lot of times you'll probably want to get it from Superior Court. Like it could be a park police arrest or a Metro Transit arrest. And so MPD might not always have that information. And particularly an arrest warrant might be just easier to get from the court docket where it should be posted than MPD. With older cases, it'll be harder, you know, so I'm not saying never get it from MPD, but I was just to streamline things.
sure.
It's meant to be pretty technical.
Sure. I think so. In our conversations with both MPD and the Superior Court, we got everybody on a one conference call. The Superior Court does not want to be the one to give the arrest warrant, partly because it's not their document. So from my understanding, the Gerstein affidavit and arrest warrants come from MPD. They house them, they create the documents. So MPD agreed to provide that, excuse me, that information. So that's why it's an MPD document. However, I wonder if the board is okay with us keeping it as an MPD document. And if they don't have it, we can work to find who would have the arrest warrant and then navigate that way. But I really think we should keep it as an MPD document because then we'd have to update all of our records and the website and the application online.
That's fine. You could write MPD or Superior Court. And you know, sometimes it might be publicly available, particularly in a more recent case, but not necessarily in an older case,
Okay.
as easily available. It was not meant to be a substantive change. It was just intended to kind of help you guys get stuff, but I don't have a strong opinion on this.
Okay. I'll just put, for instances,
And just so you all know, kind of when there's a Gerstein affidavit, it can, like, if, you know, Park Police had an arrest warrant, MPD did the arrest, then the Gerstein affidavit on the docket might just say, like, you know, MPD officers executed an arrest warrant at this location and not have anything about the underlying offense. So, like, sometimes you'll need both. It really depends on the case.
okay. I'm just going to put this there so it's. Does that suffice for everyone? Or does anybody have any concerns about putting it that way? Okay, if I don't hear anything, I'll keep moving on. Okay, second on page 6, bullet number 1. I'm assuming here.
No, for member responsibilities. Yeah.
Okay, members' responsibilities. It would be helpful to carve out.
There's the general expectation of member responsibilities, but well, you know, like I said, I won't be participating in like the individual discussion today, or discussion of individualized cases. So I just wanted to make sure that we're, you know, not falling short of expectations.
Sure. I guess one thing that I defer to the board here and leave that open to discussion, you know, with respect to the Clemency Act, it requires that board members do all of that. There is no USAO carve out. So
The statutory text actually just says that I think PDS and USAO will be invited. It doesn't require us to participate.
to participate. I assume will not be participating in the evaluation of applications.
Yeah, let me just think about how to, sorry, I should have thought of language in advance. Will not be participating in individual applications, maybe?
Right. All right, I think that's it on your end, Ilana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I'm sorry, this is Emily. Will not be participating in the consideration of individual applications.
That's fair.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question? Does that mean today, if we were going to consider an application in a closed meeting, that you would not participate in that meeting at all? Like you will just not attend?
That's right.
Okay, then I have concerns about what that does to our quorum.
So Lisa confirmed she'll be able to attend the closed meeting. But we'll just have to wait for her and see if she's able to attend in time.
And
But
I'm
you are
sorry,
correct, Patrick.
Thank you.
if I could just kind of address one, will not be participating in the consideration of individual applications through the DC Clemency Board. Because we do have a role in the pardon attorney. That's kind of the point of why we're not participating here.
Well, these
I
are
think it's implied. I think
guidelines
it's implied.
for the Clemency Board, right? They know
Yeah,
that.
this is redundant, I think.
Okay.
Let's move to Lisa's edits, which are just typographical. I believe on page 7, bullet number 7, she states that, oh, maybe the 7, the executive assistant with the support of the staff director will be responsible of, and I think she put for maintaining.
That makes sense. So replacing of with for.
Correct. And then page 20, hearing procedures. Okay, page 20, hearing procedures on the scheduled date of the hearing number 8. Okay. She says, can we add that the presiding officer may change the order of the testimony for hearings at their discretion if it is deemed reasonable or to accommodate any changes? The order of the testimony for the hearing will be applicant, character witness, then victim or victim representatives. I see no concern with that, but it would make sense that the applicant would always go first because that's who we're there to consider. I defer to the board here. I don't see why character witnesses or the victim would go before the applicant.
I mean, my bias is always to give the board discretion in these meetings. So I don't mind opening it this way. I agree with you. I think the usual order is about that. I mean, with hope, we're getting full answers and full, questioning of each person. So the order in which they go may or may not matter.
Okay. Um,
I think it makes sense to make it with the consent of the applicant. So the presiding officer may change the order with the consent of the applicant. Because the applicant, while we're not formally talking about burdens here, the applicant is presenting an application, and the applicant should have, it shouldn't be witnesses against the application or against the applicant before any other witness, before the applicant is themselves heard.
any concerns?
That's fine.
I can see where this might be helpful. Let's say someone needs to leave or may not be able to be there for the whole hearing to switch the order of events. But is everyone okay with that language that was just added in? With the consent of the applicant, the presiding officer may have discretion to change the order of testimonies where it is deemed reasonable.
I wouldn't have may have, but has discretion.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Patrick. You're breaking up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want may have discretion. They have the discretion. So has discretion.
Okay. Any additional changes? Concerns with the operating guidelines? Okay, Patrick, I defer to you now.
Sorry. I had a issue with the mute button. Sorry. Number 8 on the evaluation criteria, which is any statements provided orally or in writing by witnesses for the applicants. I thought that should also include applicant.
Sorry, could you give me a page number?
I'm sorry, I don't have the page number. It's at the very end. It's the,
Okay.
if you give me a second, I can pull up the page.
Evaluation process.
I think it's page 2 at the end within the appendix, that within the evaluation process, number 8. Yep, you're at the right place.
Okay, any statements provided orally or in writing by witnesses for the applicant? What was the edit?
To include the applicant themselves. So any statement provided orally in writing by witnesses for the applicant, victims of the offense for which the applicant is seeking clemency, victims representative, or the applicant themselves, and the applicant themselves.
Any statements provided orally by the offense which the applicant is seeking.
We could just say, or the applicant.
Okay. Anyone else? Let me see, I think we're gonna, Felisa just joined. Hi, Felisa.
Good morning, Felicia.
All right, just to get Felisa oriented, we added in your suggested edits, Felisa, and some edits by Ilana and Katya, just opening the floor up to the board to see if there are any additional edits before I turn it over to Patrick.
I would just add in a comma in where you just made that at the end, just to clarify. After victim representative. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Patrick, turning it over to you. I'll
Thank
stop
you.
sharing my screen.
So is there any other discussion that anyone would like to have about the operating guidelines? Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and approve the operating guidelines as amended today. Is there a second?
Patrick, I was wondering, do we have any public witnesses today?
I see no public witnesses today.
I would second the motion.
Okay. Is there any discussion? So it's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions?
Abstain. Thanks.
Thank you. So it passes, the motion passes, and the operating guidelines are accepted. I'd just like to take a brief moment to follow up on a second piece of old business, which was at a couple meetings ago, we assigned board members a list of organizations to reach out to. And I just wanted to see if there was any board members who have an update on your outreach efforts to events. So if we can just go through, I'll just call out names as I see on the screen. So first, Ilana, have you had any?
No, but I think we were going to take a more limited role in that anyway.
Right, thank you. Emily?
No updates.
Okay, Katya?
I don't think I have an update. I spoke with Free Minds. I think I provided that information at the last meeting, and I'm still working on connecting with LaShanya Thompson L of The Wire.
Great, thank you for that. Sonia?
No updates since I sent my email a while back on my presentation to CCE.
Right, great, thank you for that. And Felisa, any updates?
No updates for me.
Okay,
I'm still working on, but I sent emails. I just have to follow up with phone calls.
great. Thank you for that. We'll continue. I know that there's something scheduled in October with Victims' Rights Group too, so I'm planning to participate in that. Is there any other, I'm sorry, so that's it for old business. Is there any new business that anyone would like to bring up? New business? I hear none. I'd like to just circulate a date for our next meeting, which I'm going to propose Friday, September 9th at 10 a.m. That is the Friday following Labor Day weekend, the long Labor Day weekend. So just go through, is there anyone unable to participate on Friday, September 9th at 10 a.m.?
I cannot do 10 a.m. I could do beginning at noon.
Beginning at noon. Because our voting membership is so limited, I'd like to accommodate that. Could we move it to noon on Friday, September 9th? That works for anyone? Does it not work for anyone? Okay, so our next public board meeting will be at Friday, September 9th at 12 noon. I'd like to now move that we move to end this meeting. So a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Is there a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. We are adjourned. Now we're going to move to a closed meeting, which I think you will have to go out of this link